Okay. My name is Rupert Garcia. The uh, chef de cuisine of Hawthorne Restaurant here at the Fairmont Palliser. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a SAIT grad, right?
Yeah, I graduated SAIT in 2012. Um, I went through the PCK program through the SAIT connection with the chefs that I stayed in touch with. Helped me start my career, suggested places to work, and then used them as references to move up in the industry.
Yeah.
It all started with like my year one, just classroom competitions, right? We had the opportunity uh, to have a new state instructor, Chef Hayato, and be with us for 5 blocks. So on the first semester of our first year, or 5 blocks, we had Chef Hayato for 5 consecutive blocks. So like the team really got to know each other through one instructor, and then like he was such a competitive instructor, um, sorry, competitive chef prior to being an instructor. So he showed us the meticulous planning you have to do to be like, uh, in a way, a really good cook. He showed us how to be a really good cook, right? So flavoring, layering, and et cetera, et cetera, right? And around March there was a career expo to help look for internship, and then um, there's a there's little segments where you can sign up, and then there's one about competition cooking, right? And that's where I met Chef Vincent Parkinson, and he went through his slide, he went through his um, program for the day, and then right after that, I had my resume ready, and I gave it to him like, "Hey, chef, would it be an opportunity to do an internship with you for the summer?" Right. So within there, I met Chef Lepine, Chef Decker, and amongst other chefs that was in that kitchen who are now. We were all just commis, you know, line cooks, garde-manger, entremet, saucier, and then everyone in that kitchen that I was with at that time are now executive sous chefs, chef de cuisines, executive chefs of their own. Like it was a really good group that I grew up with and competitive within itself as well. So that was cool because he told us he moved from Japan, knocked on Chef Michael Noble's door, and he was like, "I want to work for you." Right? Uh, and then as a commie, worked his way up to executive chef of Catch at the time. Now the area is like Modern Ocean, Modern Steakhouse, like that's the area. But for the longest time, uh, Catch was like one of the top restaurants in Calgary, right? So specifically to me, when I had an opportunity to work with him for competition, uh, just the way he planned for me, and then the in his case, outside of his life, the sacrifice he took for me to succeed as well. So he gave me his time, so I gave him my time. And it's like a connection right away. Like, yeah, year two student at SAIT. Uh, After my internship, we would have, let's say, an AM class. I'd have to get up at 6 a.m. Class starts at 7, finishes at 1, right? I would tell Chef Vince, who I work with, I have competition practice. So class is done at 1. From 1:30 to 5, I'm practicing with Chef Hayato because he has an apprentice block in another building at SAIT. But I'm there in the corner. I got to know the classmates because I was always there like pretty much every day, like repetition, repetition. And then right after that, I go to work from 5 to like maybe 11. And then my colleagues at the time would like, if it's busy, I gotta stay. Okay. But when it's not, I'm like, hey, can I go earlier? I got school tomorrow. Right. Probably from January of 2012 all the way to June. So I was on that kind of schedule. Right.
You're
And
you're trying.
yeah, grinding. Okay. Then so that mindset, uh, first competition I did with SAIT, and I ended up winning. So after everything, the training and all that, before competition, he gives me a little roll of tape and then puts it on my station. It's roll of tape, green tape. It says "Do not give up." Right. So then I've done a lot of competition after that, but I just have that little memo somewhere. When I have my um, prep sheet or whatever in competitions, just do not give up. Okay. So I think I had that installed earlier as a cook. So that's very meaningful to me, right? And uh, I think that has something to do with we're from a different country. We come to North America. We got something to prove, right? So with everything I just mentioned, I Chef Hayato said to me, you're just a student, right? So yes, you have some skills, but you're still a student. So you have to work your way up, right? And the reason why I stayed with Chef Vince for 7 years is like I wanted to learn the entire system. There was always the next step. But I know I'm not ready yet, so I'll stay in my lane. Specifically with culinary school, the mathematic part, the costing, scheduling, and all that, recipe building. Those are the things I'm like, when I graduated, I'm like, whatever. I don't need to do this till later. But when I got to it, there was an extensive restudying because at the end of the day, it's the attention to the detail, and then everything to the last item has value to it. And then when you start going into budget and all that, um, every little thing counts. So I would think the mathematics part of the industry, the administrative. That's I was like, if I can go back to my younger self, I'd be like, yeah, you should have focused on that more. I mean, I didn't fail, but I could have done better, right? Uh, yeah, class was like early AM. You're done in early afternoon. So we're entering the class like kind of still snoozy because a lot of us probably go to work after, right? So then go home, go to sleep, go back to school, and then we're like, maybe ask the chef, be like, hey chef, I have class at 7 a.m. You think I'll be able to get out by 10? Maybe 10:30 if it's busy, right? But yeah, back then when I was young, I was just like, you know what? They need me, I'll stay, right? I'm still young. I'll sleep when I'm older, but it catches up. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Going back to that 2014, um, there is a picture. So in 2014, I got the opportunity to go because I won a national competition the year prior to, right? And then at that national competition, get the trophy. Yay. Yeah, the Shane de Retissier Jeune Chef competition in 2013, the national competition in Winnipeg. I won it. And then the announcer said, well, Rupert, you're going to be representing Canada. How do you feel? There's a photo taken. I had the trophy. I was happy that I won. And then also, he mentioned you're representing Canada. So I was like, I just had like nerves come in. I was like, I'm representing a country here. So I'm like, oh, right. I have a picture of my face going like, the practice during that year. The practice during that year was also meticulous. Like, I've had from basically October all the way to September repetition, and it's a black box, so you don't know what you're having. But the techniques I was doing, that's what I was practicing, right? Um, and then in that competition, I just trusted the training and then trusted that I've done enough, made it look enough. And when we went through our critique, I was actually like pretty bummed out about their comments because it was like very meticulous as well. And it's feedback, it's positive and constructive feedback. So then with all that, I was like, oh, well, maybe not. It was a great experience, right? But when they announced I got second, I was like, what? So that was a proud moment for me because like the time. the time it took to get ready for that, and the meticulous training happened at sea. So it goes back to that early question. It all came back full circle, right? So um, practice makes perfect. So